whatever job you're at, you have to find your purpose, your God-given purpose at that job. And until God calls me to work another job, I have to continue to find my purpose at the YMCA. Welcome back to episode 7 of the Pops and Desire.
Yes, episode 7,
we
baby.
We all fathers.
Hey, it's divine. This is the divine episode.
This
right
is
here.
God engineering. Who said that?
7.
Was that a
Seven?
Jay-Z lyric?
Everything was created, right?
Number of completion, right?
That's
Number
it.
of completion. We out here, but it ain't gonna stop from here.
It ain't
We gonna
gonna
keep going.
You can
Yes,
hate
I
me
won't
now, but I won't stop now.
Hey, come on now.
You know, we gonna start out. Yo, I play my numbers like my grandparents last night.
My goodness.
I played them numbers. You know how much that lottery up to now?
Was it $1 billion now?
It's up to $1 billion. And you know when I was on that is literally, I've never actually been to a gas station or anywhere and actually paid for a lottery ticket.
Until yesterday.
I didn't. LaShonda gave her mom some numbers. LaShonda asked me, she was like, give me some numbers.
Nah, y'all played this.
You played.
No, but I didn't spend the money.
Oh,
You spent the money.
No.
Hey, do you got the ticket though?
Mama Shade bought
You
the
got the
ticket.
ticket.
I got the ticket.
You know
So you gave LaShonda's mom
I
the
didn't.
money.
I did not give her. LaShonda's
This is how it started
mom
off already,
paid
guys.
Shot, you
for the
You
ticket.
the father. Look, you the household. You are the father of the household.
What?
Therefore,
The breadwinner.
you allowed
You paid
that to
the
happen.
ticket.
So it's
Are
on
we
your
saying?
watch.
Are we saying playing the lottery is bad?
It's gambling, isn't it?
Who's saying gambling is bad? If it's a bad thing, then it's bad. It's not bad. Gambling is not bad.
We're gonna pray for Shaka.
Hey, y'all got to pray for me, all
I'm
right?
bringing Jesus
Nah,
the tables over because of this.
we was having two different conversations.
Birds and tokens went everywhere that day.
Feathers went all over the temple that day.
Listen, I got discouraged when I was on social media and saw that DJ Khaled had bought like 60 different lottery numbers,
better
60
not
different
win.
lottery tickets. Now he didn't win. The numbers came out last night at 11 o'clock. I
Did
stay
anybody
up.
win or nobody won?
I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to watch the news.
That's crazy.
this
Out of
morning.
so many people that played,
It was 1.2
nobody
billion.
hit.
You know the percentage?
Yeah, I
You
know
got
the
a
percentage is
1.2
low.
billion chance of winning.
How many people's in this earth? On this earth?
First of all, the lottery is only domestic
Well, I mean, okay, so my fault. I said how many
All
people's
right,
in the
so
United
how do we
States?
get on the lottery though?
because I said I played them numbers like my grandparents.
All right, look,
We
anyway,
played
we get
them
sidetracked. We'll add it to
numbers.
the conversation later. But anyway,
Anywho,
Let's
we
go.
are back. We are back. We are back. We are back. And we ain't going nowhere. All right. Y'all ready for these questions?
Hey, let's get it for the questions.
But before we go to these questions,
Yeah.
really quick. Y'all see I got on my, what you want to call those?
the beach socks though,
You know what I'm saying?
the palm.
By the time
They
this
low-key look like
podcast come
hammers,
out, you said hammers?
yeah, I don't know. They look a little knockoff-ish right here.
hammers,
It's
My-
all right. Anthony, you need glasses.
hammers.
You need glasses. The fact that you're the only one of us that don't have glasses is still crazy.
Because I can see.
I feel like,
Nah, after that.
okay,
Now
quit.
that accusation.
I have 20/20 vision. I had an eye doctor appointment maybe a couple months ago.
Did you go to America's Best?
Which one did I go to? What's
That's the
on
one at the
Parkway?
Pinnacle.
No, I went to the Parkway.
Is that Value Vision?
No, it was Lens Crafters.
Oh yeah, they ain't do you right.
Stop.
They ain't do you right. You need contacts, brother.
No.
You need the contact. But do you think that there are more people with glasses in the United States or without?
I have no clue. I never really cared to pay attention to.
I
Really?
mean, you got people that get LASIK surgery.
Do you
now,
think there are
so-
more people that need corrective lenses or eye surgery,
I
or you
do,
think there are
'cause as you
people
get
that
older,
still
your
have?
vision
I
never
think
stays the same.
naturally, yeah.
So we're saying there's more old people than young people.
It's a mix.
I think
is it a
now
perfect mix?
there are.
Is the world balanced like
I think-
Thanos?
I think
with the little
now, if
thing?
I'm not mistaken, in my sociology class, I think there's
you
now
bring
more
sociology in this,
older people
Oh, geez.
than there are younger people right now.
Then we got to
why.
talk about what is older.
Speaking of that, we're again.
Look,
like
let's
I
not
have-
put legs on this table.
I was gonna say, bro. I said we are still in
Let's
the
not
intro.
put
How-
legs on
I
this
said,
table.
How
shut up.
did we get here?
You
I was
keep
talking.
bringing us here. That's
No,
the
first of all,
problem.
no. You started talking about my doggone socks.
then
You cut me off.
Hey, let's just introduce the socks out here. We got palm trees, Dragon Ball
We got
Z,
palm
and we
trees.
got the boy Woody out here.
As I was saying, by the time
Ready
this
to go.
podcast come out, we will probably have come back from our
Hey, let's get
vacation.
this podcast going.
You know
though.
what I'm saying? Good gracious. I ain't gonna talk about the fact we be cutting each other off like crazy.
Yeah,
we
every
gonna stop doing that.
We'll work on that.
We're gonna
Forgive
let
us.
each other finish our sentences
Forgive us for that.
properly.
Nah, don't forgive us for that. That's how we roll. That's how we've been our whole lives. But we will be better.
All right.
Somebody hit us with the first question.
All right. So first question I want to ask y'all boys.
Yeah, man.
Look, why is it that we let our jobs determine our calling instead of letting our calling determine our jobs? Hit
Okay.
me with it.
Expound on that. It sounded like, again, this question was kind of provoked during the week,
Bro.
because my man Bakari, he called me.
He was feeling it.
Nah, the spirit moved him or stirred him up. One
Oh,
of the two.
man. Look,
And he called me. I don't remember what day it was. And we actually supposed to talk about something important. But I heard him flowing in it. I said, you know what, Anthony, let's be quiet. Let me just listen to my brother going in right here.
So-
Man.
So the reason why I asked this question is because, like I said, we oftentimes have people in our, that might be in that job field, and they get so stuck. I guess, how can I put it? Because I'm trying to keep the same energy that I had then. God kind of helped me through this throughout the week.
right.
But at the same time, when I was at my, when I was at my job, I was just thinking, how some people that's working in their field, they get so stuck thinking that they are, let's say a bank teller. They feel like
coming at
that's
me.
all. No offense to
I
you.
know. I was messing with
No
you.
offense to
man.
you.
I was messing
Hey,
with
But
you.
let's say
bro.
they're a bank teller. They feel like that's their calling. That's all they're meant to do, and they are sold out to that. But instead of just counting yourself as a bank teller and letting your job determine who God made you out to be, why don't we sit there and find ourselves in God? Because if you know who you are and you know your calling, you're going to know your job's not going to always be the exact same as you go throughout life.
Well, I'm going to go ahead
true.
and throw an objective view on there. Not everybody believes or knows the Lord.
Yeah,
So-
that's
true.
And right now, I'm not talking to those people though. I'm talking to right now.
Talking
I'm
to the believers.
people. I'm talking to the believers right now.
Okay.
So this is out to the believers. Why are you sitting there? If you know your calling, why are you stuck where you at, thinking that this is your only way to sit there and reach the people? Or not even that. Let's just say, why do you feel that God is just going to keep you here for the rest of your life, knowing that your time is coming up? And you know when your time is coming up, when you start feeling a shift in either your life or God is stirring up something in your life. So therefore, you get scared to take that change.
Yeah.
You get scared to sit there and get uncomfortable, and you stay where you at longer than you're supposed to be. What was supposed to be a short term now becomes a long term.
Okay. No. You're going. I'm not. Nah, I'm just saying. I'm going to chime
ahead.
in there a little bit before on that. I've said because a lot of times it's not that. I believe every person, a human being, whether you like verbalize it or not, deep down in your soul and your beings of beings, you know you were created for greatness. Nothing less, nothing more. Even when I was a little kid, and that's not arrogance or whatever, I truly believe that I could change the world
Absolutely.
as a child.
Yeah.
I still believe that. But I think a lot of it times when you grow up, and I'm throw like the objective view at you is, I think a lot of people, if you quote making good money, and you're quote good at your job, I'm gonna ask you a question: why change though? Like I know, like why would somebody want to shift? Like why would I felt I need to shift? And I think maybe that's a little bit of our American view. We work so hard to quote to be comfortable. Right,
Yeah.
and that's what. And naturally, who wouldn't want to have
A decent, nice
decent
house.
house, a decent car, just to quote say comfortable for your kids and your family? And I quote that's what we're working hard for. Right.
Is that why we work?
I mean, I'm throwing all this out for
Yeah.
you guys to digest and maybe think about.
Yeah.
So you're saying why leave where you're at if you're good at where you're at right now?
And you quote, you're comfortable.
I'm comfortable.
What is from the man or woman who's listening to this to be
I am
like
seasoned at
what
my
is
job.
what is the reason for me to leave? Like if I'm good at it, I like my job, I like the people I work with, but maybe deep down I know could go greater or higher, but the money's good right now. What would be that reason, Shaka, maybe that I should think about leaving or taking that next step of faith?
I think you have to be so in tune with the spirit, and your relationship with God has to be so good and personal that God will tell you audibly or through obvious sign that, hey man, it's time to go. I think about that. I've been at the YMCA for 9, almost going on 10 years. I've worked almost every job position at the YMCA. And my view on when it comes to your calling and your purpose and your job is wherever you are is where your purpose is.
Right.
And it's almost like how, we've been in Bristol most of our lives. Everybody's like, I can't stand this place. I want to move out. And I don't know if I've ever thought about that. I've thought about getting up out
Of
this
course.
place plenty of time.
Oh, listen, I was gone.
Plenty
The
of
Lord
time.
literally had to knock it off the table for me.
Listen, he had to.
You
was this close.
This close.
You
I
were.
literally.
Anthony was about out of
remember
here.
praying, saying,
Yeah.
God, if this is the place I'm supposed to go
Mm-hmm.
or be, and him tell, I physically heard him tell me no. I said, well, I'm leaving anyway.
Yeah,
And
I'm
saying
outta
he
here.
kicked that smooth off the table.
Yeah,
It was
hey,
crazy.
he had to knock it smooth over. But like whatever your job you're at, for example, when I first graduated college, right?
Yeah.
What was my first job out of college? At a daggone potato chip factory.
I would say,
I was
what's
at
the
a
shit?
gas
I
station,
was thought I was going to be living the dream.
Right.
Post college degree, bachelor's degree, thinking I'm high and mighty, and the
Right.
only place I can get hired on at the time was a potato chip factory. And you want to talk about low key depression?
Right.
Sitting there on that assembly line, but it literally took having conversations with God, and I was like, God, I don't know how long I'm going to be here. I don't want to be here, but there is a reason you have me here. I hope my assignment isn't long, but there is a reason you have me here. And I
Right.
feel like some of the people that did work there were very ratchet, but there were times where we had to share a potato chip line, and you be talking to one person the whole entire night, and we be having faith-led conversations and this and that. So I feel like whatever job you're at, you have to find your purpose, your God-given purpose at that job. And until God calls me to work another job, I have to continue to find my purpose at the YMCA. And sometimes it takes a little readjusting. You know what I'm saying? There are times where I've gotten super complacent at my job, and I'm like, you know what? I feel like the YMCA is not really doing it for me anymore. But again, you got to dig deep, find your purpose, find your passion at whatever job you're working. Whether you roofing, you at the bank, I'm working with kids, teaching classes. At the end of some of my boxing classes, we'll pray. And all it takes is for one person to be like, you know what, Shaka, I thank you for praying at the end of your class. That really helped me, and I feel like that's going to help me get through my week. So it's those little interactions. And, the YMCA being a faith-based organization, I really feel like I am still deep in my calling. How long will I be there? I don't know, because forever is a mighty long time to be at a job, right?
Forever is a long.
See,
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
So basically, bloom where you're planted. And
Yes.
but I see but what the question was, why do people get stuck into complacency? And I think
Because it's easy.
it's easy. And I think I'm gonna let Bakari dive a little bit more onto that. I
mean, because it's what you comfortable with, and I understand like what you comfortable with. But if you comfortable, can you really grow?
right.
Like
Yeah.
you'll,
But that's
There's
the thing.
different aspects.
And we talk about like being like we always share our faith and whatever the Lord's doing with us that day and our real lives here. And like you said, where you're comfortable. If you look at Abraham's life, remember, I believe God challenged him. Remember, he blessed him with financially. He blessed him with a child.
Yep.
And not even like when he asked to sacrifice his son. Think about Abraham was good. Like think about that. I have money. I have what I've really been praying to God about. And I think God is like, yo, let me see how like comfortable you really are in this situation. And then God saw his heart was like, man, I can still serve and use him. But also we overlooked the fact Abraham was 100 years old. So to me, I look at that and think and say, God does not care about your age. I know whoever's listening to this, I'm 60, I'm 50, I'm 20, he does not care about your age. He's calling you to be uncomfortable and to grow, not just in his relationship with him, but he's calling you to grow and mature and cultivate the people around you. Like, with kids.
and talking about Abraham, when was Abraham ever comfortable?
Listen,
You got to think in the beginning. God called Abraham from his father's house.
At what
Told
age?
him to leave. Never told him where to go to. You got to be uncomfortable. That's an uncomfortable type journey right there. And you got to trust God. Not only that, then God told Abraham that he was going to have a kid at 100 years old. That's uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable.
Awkward.
God told him. God
let
told
me
him to
tell
go
you.
sacrifice his son. Go to the mountain I
Uncomfortable.
send. Go to this place I'm gonna send you to and sacrifice your son. That's got to be uncomfortable journey to travel with your son. When was Abraham ever comfortable? All his life he was uncomfortable, but he was comfortable in the sense of he had God on his side. He had God as a friend.
Right. So
Therefore, let your comfort be in him and not in your situation. Because your
job.
situation is always going to change, but God doesn't. So if you find your comfort in him, you will be able to handle the change when God says, I need you to leave.
Yeah.
If you find your comfortability in him, you'll be able to handle the change when God says, let's say instead of leaving, to stay here for a few more years. Because I've had that happen to me when like I said with roofing.
Yeah.
Yo, God, I'm tired of sitting there being this hot sun, climbing up and down this roof,
Come on.
nailing on. Look, I need a change. And like I said, but God wasn't letting me leave it. It wasn't my time. And I didn't realize it wasn't my time until I seen when God had me there for that reason. It was a situation.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Working there for almost 7 years, it was one situation there when God really needed me to be there.
Yeah. Wow.
So, and I think that's what, and the thing is, even after that, it got to the point, then I was scared to leave because then the situations in my life happened to where it's like, God, I need to be here because I need to make this money.
Yeah. Right.
So then we start putting we start putting our feelings. And the thing about it is when you put your feelings in the situation, you'll never leave. Because when you go off your feelings, or sometimes you'll leave too early.
right.
Yeah.
So when you put your feelings in, your feelings will always change. Your feelings will change with the situation. When the situation changes, your feelings change. So
Absolutely.
you can't always rely on your feelings because your feelings change according to your situation. And sometimes the situation may not be congruent to what God has planned for you.
Okay, I'm gonna go a little bit different for just like exactly what you just said is, quote, what if you like? I also believe the way that you grew up and the way that you view money
Yes.
determines possibly what type of career or job that you have, or what your type of calling. I remember growing up, we didn't have no money. We would call poor, I guess. And but I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't even call it that because I had a great childhood.
Our childhood was amazing.
And it was crazy. I guess all my other friends were the same. We were in the same situation.
We was all, hey, man.
So I guess to me it was never like, oh, we ain't got no money.
We
or whatever.
struggling
Until
this
you go,
week.
until you go stay at a friend's house that has some money.
Oh,
It'll change everything. Look,
bruh.
mama, that house has heat. Why don't ours have heat? they actually get to take that jacket off in the house.
Wait, what? What?
But I say that because like growing up, and I saw and I saw how hard my mom worked.
Yeah.
I saw what we didn't have, and I was always told, go out, son, you're going to go to school, you're going to get a good job so you can make that money, blah, blah, blah. And that's what I was told, right? I was never, ever told, son, go chase your passions.
Oh, God.
Son, go chase your dream. Your dream should be go make that money so you can help get your family out of poverty. And I'll be honest with you, I fell into that same thinking or trap in I would like to think when I went to school. I remember going to college was not an option.
No.
Because I was said, yo, I had to help my family get out of this situation.
Yeah.
So when I say that, like even if you come from money and your mom and dad's a doctor or a lawyer, or they come from prestigious backgrounds, you feel that pressure to do the same.
Yep.
Right. And again, I think that's why I was trying to at least preach and teach to my son is like, son, chase your God-given calling, not just what you like to do. Something. Now we want our kids to make money and to have resources, but most importantly, go and be impactful where you're at.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I was thinking of a little bit is the way you grow up could determine a lot of that. And like you said, and your support system. So, and let's say if I said, I told my mom, hey, I just want to be an artist. I want to go to school and paint and whatever. And she go, bro, how's that gonna make any money? Forget all that.
It won't.
Like literally, my mom would have told me, nah. And I knew that. So I didn't want to disappoint her. So I'm going to chase, like you said, why do people chase after the job or their career? That's what we're told to. Yeah. Again, as Americans, I believe sometimes we were really spoiled. Like I'm talking about truly spoiled. And we don't know how spoiled you are unless you travel outside the U.S. and you're like, man, Like, I didn't realize toilet seats are a luxury.
Oh, every bit of it.
That's crazy.
Right, and it's crazy.
Hot
Like,
water.
That's wild.
Toilet seats are
Let me
luxuries.
tell you, Flint still ain't got no clean water. We've been
still
talking
don't-
about that.
still don't have
for
no water.
Years.
Still don't
Look,
have no water.
I got this water bottle in my hand, and I'm like, there are people that don't even have access to legit clean water.
But like you said, chasing that comfortability to find that sweet spot. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think that even exists. Like that comfortability. Think about it, people who have billions who never had to work a day in their life. They're constantly they don't feel quote fulfilled. Some of them, not all of them. A lot of them don't feel fulfilled until like I don't have enough. Gotta hit the grind. Gotta keep grinding.
DJ Khaled bought 28 lottery tickets, and this man
For
is
what?
$500 million. He's not a billionaire.
After a while, I think you get bored.
Yeah.
The thing is, when
just
you
keep
For
chasing.
what? Yeah, you
the
just keep
people who
chasing.
chase money never get enough of it.
Right.
If you always searching for money, you're never gonna have enough.
Right.
I don't
So
know
don't
if it's
check-
more
that's why I
about
said-
searching for money, but I think it's continue with a search for what is your. I feel like your passions change.
Well, nah, because
Yeah,
it is
I
it
can
is
see
a
that.
search for money. Because people truly search for money. People, like I said, people who search for money. It's different if it's different as it to people who search for cars. You know, people like I said have a passion for cars.
Mm-hmm.
But people who literally say, you know, I'm trying to work so I can have more money. I need to have more money. It's not
You'll
like I'm
never
trying
have
to work,
enough.
but you will if you search for money, you'll never have enough of it.
That's like saying somebody said, "How much is $50,000 a lot of money?" It is until you make it.
Yeah.
Right? I heard that
That's
before.
true.
It is until you actually get it. But I believe most importantly, what we're trying to say and kind of cultivate and get you guys thinking and spark your mind to thinking. We're not trying to get you to walk away from your job.
Don't do that unless
Yeah.
God told you to.
Unless the Lord told you to.
Hey,
Don't put that on
Don't put
us.
that on Papa
Ooh.
Sock's. We'll pray for you, but
we
also say,
ain't got no jobs for you yet. All right.
we working on that part.
All
But I
we're
think-
saying is don't make something that's supposed to be short term, long term, and
Right.
don't make something that's supposed to be long term, short term.
Right.
Yeah,
I
it
say you
is.
have to find that sweet spot. But I think what we're really just trying to get you to do and to spark into your mind is to really like, what does really God have for me? What am I called to do? Some people are literally, like I said, some of us, we believe that, get caught up in a career is some of us are, like right now, we are
Yeah.
called to be dads.
Yep.
Right? I've literally been asking the Lord, how do I make change, God? I want to impact my community. I want to do all this stuff. He said, start in your house. Be grateful for what I gave you.
Yep.
Right? I think that's the secret of not chasing quote after money. And you're like, well, I am grateful, but if you have to throw a but behind that, then you're not grateful.
No.
Like, truthfully, like I said this, like when I wake up in the morning, I literally wiggle my toes.
Hey,
I try
you
to, like,
good.
oh snap! I'm up.
I'm good.
I'm physically.
I got my senses.
I can physically touch and feel. There's people right now with a broken hand that can't. I'm just like I think something small, and you don't know how valuable it is till it's taken away from you. We all been here, right? Mm-hmm. Have you ever had one nostril congested or clogged up?
I live my life that way.
Listen,
I only
you don't
got
know
one
how
nostril.
much.
The people know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They know what it is.
Absolutely.
Listen, you
come
don't
on,
know
man.
how much
Breathing?
What breathing? You mouth breathe all day because one nostril.
God,
Oh,
I
throat
can't-
be hurting in
it
the
is the
morning.
Right.
worst.
because your nostrils are clogged up. So because we don't think twice about breathing through our nose and our mouth, so having that function. Same thing in your home. Like again, everybody wants a home. I've been looking to buy a house here soon, but this market's been crazy. Right?
Right.
I've been praying, Lord, let me find the right spot or whatever. He said, what are you stressed about? I said, God, I want the house because everything's getting bought up. He says, bruh, have I not look at this house that you got?
Yeah.
Like, look, are you
How far have I bought you?
Right. Look.
Come on.
Right. How far have I bought you? I remember
Listen.
literally there was a point in my life to where I lost my to this house place we're staying in now.
Yeah.
I lost my previous apartment.
Yep.
Right. I literally didn't have. I had to choose between paying rent and paying my electric bill, especially at the place I was at.
Yeah.
And I had to move back with my mom. That's with a child. So let's not get it twisted. I
Yeah.
remember being so crushed and defeated. Like literally, I remember me and my son Bakari actually helped me move my stuff back into my mom's house at 28 years old. Right? I remember literally trying to keep quiet from crying at night because I didn't want to wake my son, and because I know he loves me. I know I didn't want to worry him.
Yeah.
Right? Or I didn't worry my mom. And I'm just praying and asking God, like, what happened? Why am I here? What did I do to
Yeah.
deserve this? I didn't do anything. It was just
Absolutely not.
character refinement. And then I remember the way I got this place now, and he says, haven't I brought you so far? What makes you think that I'm not carrying you or I stopped providing for you?
Yeah.
What good parent if you're a real parent, we all say until your kid turns like 18, you're like, they're your
Just think they
responsibility.
cut off?
Wrong. Like my mom, listen, I'm 31 years old.
To this
my
day.
mom still be trying to ask, "You got groceries, baby? Look,
Yeah,
you need anything?" And I'm like, "Mom, I'm good."
Yeah, Mom,
she'll
I
buy
love it.
she'll buy me socks randomly. These
Hey,
socks I got
man.
on. Look, I'm saying I'm
Shout
good,
out.
Mom. She says,
Shout
I
out.
just worry about you. You know, you don't stop being parents. So
No.
how much more? How much more is that same idea, the same concept to God is for us? What makes me think that he stopped caring or he stopped providing for me because I, quote, grew up or start maturing and things changed?
Yeah.
Ain't nothing changed. But that's not, sorry, I got a little sidetracked. My
Nah,
apologies.
you
y'all.
good. And that's
I'm sorry.
also, like I said, you know, sometimes, and I don't want people to get it mistaken that, you know, yeah, sometimes things do happen to us that is a character refinement.
Yep.
But also sometimes your decision gets you in the place that you at, but it doesn't mean that God's going to sit there and let you suffer. He said, where you sit there and make your bed, I will be there with you.
But you have to acknowledge
You
where
have-
you made your bed, though.
Yeah,
yep.
you made your
Yeah,
bed, but
absolutely.
also there is a way out.
right?
There's always a way
You
out.
never have to be stuck where you're at. Yeah, you might have been on drugs. You might have been addicted to drugs. Does not mean that you have to sit there and stay on that.
Right.
God still loves you.
Yep.
Always.
You're deep
Like
in
I said, you might sit there and you might have had an adultery. God still loves you.
Right.
You might have sat there and killed somebody. You might be a murderer. God still loves you.
Absolutely.
See, the thing is, even though you're in that situation, don't ever think that I'm here and because I'm here, because the devil's going to sit there and make you think you messed up. You had one chance. That's it.
Or you have to get yourself out of this situation.
Yep.
No.
All by yourself.
My
All
God
by
is a
yourself.
merciful. Look, our God is a merciful God. Therefore, He's always going to be right there to help you out. Now, He will you got to be disciplined.
Gotta be disciplined.
because you have to learn, and you have to learn from your mistakes.
Going back to last week.
But going back to last week,
guys
you
out
have
here
to be
whooping us.
disciplined.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I said, He's still there to get you out. And I know, like I said, all three of us are fathers. All three of us have been through some things before we became fathers.
Absolutely.
All
Preach.
three of us have made mistakes before we became fathers, even during father time.
Father time. Fatherhood.
Father time,
Hey,
father,
man,
father
that's
time,
all.
Father time.
Father time.
Because during the time that we was a father,
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, all right.
Sorry, I didn't.
look, that we had to sit there and, like I said, and we made decisions that we had to sit there and ask for forgiveness. But the thing is, you have to ask for forgiveness. You have to sit there and repent of what you've done. And like I said,
Right.
just as, let's say, the people who are addicted to certain things know that God still loves you, just as Jesus Christ died. And I heard it say this way, and this is from that Tim Ross podcast.
Yeah.
He said, just as Jesus died for you, whenever you accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, you're now going to have to die for Him.
In the sense of,
It,
and go ahead, expound
No,
on
go
that.
ahead, go
no,
ahead.
I'll say it in the sense of, maybe I shock it because I figure Shaka's left on this. I'm thinking of you're dying to your flesh
yes.
and sensual desires. You're thinking, and again, we understand that not everybody's a believer who listens to this, because sometimes people are like, bro, why you always talking about this? But again, we didn't know y'all wasn't listening. We didn't know y'all was coming, so we
did
only
not.
know how to speak one way.
Yeah, that's it.
So we love you, and I said, and we pray one thing or something sparks the interest of your mind, but it's just talk about things of the flesh, dying to. In fact, if you married, let's just go on that. If you are married, dying to self, you know exactly what we are talking about.
I feel like dying in real life.
100. You feel the physical ailments
Right.
Oh,
of legit
man.
dying to yourself every day.
Every day. At least a healthy marriage, you do.
Yeah, you should.
Right. I like to believe and assume, I know everybody's not on that, but I like to believe that if in a healthy marriage, you are trying to you're trying to serve your partner, and you do not want it to fail. But also that requires to, like you said, I'm not there yet. I ain't gonna front. I just definitely in a prayer of mine to God, help me when that time comes to learn how to die to myself, because I ain't gonna front. Being single for so long, listen, you get set your ways about certain stuff.
tell you.
Pretty selfish out here.
Let my son leave his socks in the living room. Hey fam,
Hey, get it up. Get it up.
what
We
are you
don't
doing
do
here?
that here.
Yeah, we don't do that here.
But yes, I mean, I think that was a good topic to speak about, because I also think, like I said, some people need to be set free from that trapped mentality. I also think that some people who's been wanting to leave but has not had that calling upon them yet to leave, so therefore they feel like they lost their way. I feel like they lost their way and where they're at now, and they're losing sight of the reason why God has called them to be there. So the thing is, never lose sight. Find your comfortability in God, because you might be there for 10 years before God sat there and before God brought that moment to you to sit there and speak to somebody, because that's all it was for me. It was a moment to speak to somebody at that time. So never lose your way in what God has called you to be.
I think it might have took you, and I don't think we overlook, it's not about being in the situation that we're in. It's about maybe that took you 7 years to form that relationship with that person for them to trust you, so you can speak into their life.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you had done it in 5 or 6 months to try to like speak in their life, you'd be like, bro, who are you trying to tell me what to do? You don't know you like that.
That's kind of like with Moses and when he killed that Philistine, trying to protect the Hebrew people. It's just like you said, he killed him. Look, he did it on his time, not on God's time. Like I said, it was the right intentions, to protect his people.
Yeah.
But it was at the wrong time. Therefore, when he did it, look, even his own people went against him. What, you gonna kill us now?
Oh my goodness! I had your back. But let me ask you this then, and we'll kind of shift gears, and I'll start with Shaka.
Yeah, what's up?
How do you know, and for that person who's it's God's been pulling at their heart, this is maybe the podcast, they needed to hear this. How do you know when it's time to step in to what God's called you, maybe at that current work, or again, calling, maybe it's as a parent, maybe he's asking you to step up, right? And one thing that God asked me to do one time, he said, bro, I just need you to get organized in your house. Get your house in order. Get your house in order. Now I took that as like, I'm not doing anything. Is anything crazy? He said, no, I need you to physically put stuff down on timetables and charts for your son, so you can have like, because you're asking to do all a bunch of stuff, but you're not organized. And I'm like, I was thinking it's deeply. But I'm thinking, how do you know when it's to step into a season versus when to step out of a season?
As I stated before, I just think you have to be so in tune with the Spirit, and your relationship with God has to be so close that whenever He calls you, and a lot of times I feel like when God calls us, we think that, it's time to build a church, brick and mortar.
Right.
You think you got to go big or go home. I got to be the next Mike Todd. I got to be the next Stephen Furtick.
Right.
Just like you said, I just need you to organize your house, man. I just need you to start with these small things.
That's all I need you to do.
I don't want you to build a church yet. Hey, nah, we ain't there yet. I need you to start with this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just like how we put this podcast together. This is God engineering. But first, we didn't just all of a sudden start out with these mics.
If you've been rocking, if you've been rocking with us,
come on.
You each week you see the progression of sound. You see the progression of maybe videos. It's step by step.
But just like we commune with God, it takes communication between all three of us to have a good thing.
Right.
So in the same way that it takes communication between all of us to put this act together, you got to constantly be talking to God. All right, God, what's next? And He might, like we said earlier, He might have you in a situation for years. And He might have you organizing His house just like Mr. Miyagi had him waxing on and waxing off.
Oh my God.
The whole entire time until he was ready to move on to the next step. You know what I'm saying?
It's Mr. Miyagi's methods, and we're talking about even spiritually. Again, a lot of it's character refinement.
Yes.
You're not. Let's just be honest with you. What if he says you're not as sweet as you really think or feel? Right? Mm-hmm. You're not actually not that good. You don't have good speaking. You don't do good speaking in front of people. Yeah. But I want to preach and I want to teach, but I can't get up to speak in front of my office, or I can only send emails. Wouldn't feel comfortable sending emails. Maybe that's something he's asking you to step up and do. Or what if you're anything like me sometimes? What if you're not organized, son? You're talking about everything that you say you want to achieve. I'm here for it. I'm believing that's what the Lord is saying. I'm here for it. Son, I just need you to make sure you're consistently organized. By physically, like I said, having charts, setting clear expectations, not unrealistic, because I have big dreams out here.
Absolutely.
But clear expectations for the people around us. Like, again, if there was not clear expectations when to have a podcast, this podcast would be in disarray.
Oh, straight up.
I know it seems like that when we talking at times, but we're a whole lot more organized than you would like to think. But this small stuff, ask God to show you maybe one thing, or what's one thing I can not fix, but I can grow in.
Yes.
But that's some of the things and I'm speaking to the people who doesn't have a strong foundation in God. Yo, you trying to move up the ladder, but you can't even be coached. You trying to take it upon yourself to get yourself there your way. And
Big
people trying to
facts.
sit there and literally tell you what to do and trying to show you the steps on what to take, but you can't be coachable because you so stuck in your way because you think you so sweet with it. Look, you think you can get it by yourself that you try to do it your way and you wondering why you always at where you at.
Or tired all the time.
I said, you literally in a glass you're literally in a glass room. You watching everybody elevate while you stuck in this glass room because you so stuck in your way. Everybody can see you. Yeah, everybody can see you. Everybody knows you there, but you'll never move up. You'll never move up being that type of mindset. So stop thinking you so sweet with it. Stop thinking you so nice and where you're at that you don't have to be coached. Because the thing is, you're only hindering yourself, and you get upset at when you don't move up because you are being you're so upset when you don't move up, and you think because they don't sit there and recognize my work and my talent, I'm done being here. No, it's not the fact that they're done with you. It's just they're done with the fact that you can no longer be coached. They're done with the fact that you're so stuck in your way that they can't elevate you no more.
To me, that's one of the worst things. The biggest compliment that I got from my son to kind of chime in with that was he's coachable.
He's very
coachable. I have his coaches tell me all the time, whatever you tell him to run through a brick wall, he's going to do it. He's going to, and I believe that starts at home. But also to chime in what you're saying, let's just not even speak of quote career job based.
Yeah.
If you can't, or quote not coachable, like Bakari said, if you can't listen to your wife when she gives suggestions,
Jesus.
Come on. How are you confused when your marriage is in disarray?
You're not ready.
Right.
Yeah, that's dying to self.
If you can't listen or have an objective ear when your kids say or do subtle stuff and to be sensitive to that, how are you raising children? Is it a dictatorship in your house? Is it my way or the highway?
A lot of people, it is that way.
Again, I know sometimes we think fear works, but positive reinforcement works too.
A lot of times better than negative.
Look, if they don't listen, I promise you, I'm gonna lay these. We joke around and say we gonna lay these holy hands on our kids and stuff to pray, and we talked about that I think last episode. But at the time, again, we don't just respond, or excuse me, we don't just react, we respond. And how you respond determines how far you necessarily will go.
And you have to set rules. And I know you talk about listen to your kids and stuff. Yeah, you have to set rules. What's love without boundaries?
Right.
Lust. That's what it is, lust. So you have to set boundaries. You love your kids. You love your wife. You have to set boundaries in that. Therefore, this you will not be able to step over. And I'm speaking to the kid wise. You cannot step over this line. I love you, but I won't let you go past. I won't let you go this far. You will not sit there and be able to break this rule. If you break this rule, I'm gonna talk to you.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, you don't have to sit there and put holy hands on them all the time.
Do y'all struggle with that relationship with your kids between parenting and trying to be their friend? Because growing up, our parents like, boy, I'm not one of your little friends from across the street.
Look, that was
my
favorite quote.
I ain't one of your friends.
You like, dang.
I'm gonna let you know right now, I'm not my kid's friend.
Straight up.
I'm a parent. A friend. Look, will always sit there and be iffy with you. How many friends? Matter of fact, throughout high school, how many people are you still friends with? You got a lot of friends in high school.
Just a handful.
Exactly.
Just a handful.
I'm your parent. I'm here, like you said. Your parent is there for a lifetime.
Yeah.
I'm your parent. I'm always going to be with you day in, day out. I'm here to sit there and through your good times, through your bad times. It's just like how God treats us. He ain't our friend. Look, he's our father. He's always going to be there in any situation. You can call me up in any situation, any time or place. Daddy's going to be there to either help you, correct you, or guide you to get you further.
Right. And even then, too, I think eventually when your kids grow up and older and they start having their own families and stuff, then I think some of that maybe, quote, friendship, you're still their parent, but then I think some of that friendship can kind of grow. But also, like Bakari said, I do struggle that sometimes, or the enemy would try to use, well, he actively doesn't, because his mom is not, quote, physically here with him, then you need to be a little bit more softer or not as harsh with him, like, quote, a mother should. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm not doing him no favors, though, when I treat him like that.
You can't show him the compassion that a mother can show him anyway.
Oh, that first of all, a mother's love is completely different than a father's love. And not that either one are better than the other. I think we get caught up in that.
It's just different.
It's just literally different.
And I think that's just knowing to play your role, because as a father, you can still be compassionate. But if you try to take on the role of a mother and try to play the mother role in your child's life,
You create voids.
yeah, you're gonna sit there and create something that wasn't supposed to be created. Let the mother play the mother role. Let the father play the father role. And let it be that.
My bad.
Go ahead, though.
My bad. So, like, Shaka, like you said, I think just to chime in what you said, excuse me, for the single parents out there, do your job. Yes, I hear moms all the time. I got to be mom and dad. No, you don't. Be his mother.
That's it.
Single fathers out there, be their father.
Yeah, that's it.
God, whether you believe or you don't believe, God will send somebody that will help create and nurture that motherly love that child needs, or that fatherly love that child needs. The Bible says, I will be a father to the fatherless, meaning he knew some people were going to advocate their responsibilities. Mm-hmm. He knew not all dads were going to step up. He knew all mothers wasn't going to step up and love their kids. So he doesn't mean just I'm just going to be a physical, actual like father. He's talking about I'm going to have people and love you in areas and stuff that you did not know that you needed.
Yeah. I almost think that's why the Bible, when it talks about like premarital sex, and I don't think that when you do stuff like that, we're not damning you to hell whenever you do that. But I think that's why God had that blueprint of, okay, when you get married, you have kids. If you do it right, everything should be good. But when you step outside of that, you kind of start creating issues. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, truth, that's where, like I said, I know we on the big, Roe versus Wade. I'm not trying to get on that subject really, but when you decide to have premarital sex, then the abortion topic does come up, because as into how many, I'm just saying, I know it's a good number, but how many men out there having unprotected sex,
I'll say today, Junior,
and getting that woman pregnant, but then doesn't want the child. Then the mother, or who is supposed to be the mother, then feels the pressure of, I can't do it by myself. Therefore, they either taking the plan B or they sit there and get an abortion. And like I said, I don't hate nobody. I'm gonna let you know right now. Your decision is your decision. Mm-hmm. And like I said, but how many people actually go through that? And that's what you talking about, that blueprint. That blueprint's there for a reason. When you're married and you have that child, she knows you got her back, and you know that she gonna have your back with raising this child.
It's just there. The Bible is there to make your life easier.
Yeah, that's it.
You know what I'm saying? That's literally it. We're not saying, oh, well, I guess you got to spend all the rest of your eternity with Hades. No. If you just do what the Bible says, it's supposed to make your life just a little bit easier.
But some people view it as, if you have the wrong, mindset, because when you're thinking, when you hear the word, that we said premarital sex and all this like a blueprint, some people instantly heard God's trying to tell me what to do. I don't like, you're trying to control me. No.
Matter of fact,
I'm gonna give you one example. Who has pets?
Jesus.
Right? Lord Jesus.
I said Jesus because I got a pet. Now sometimes I'd be like, I don't want a pet.
But I'm saying, if you have a dog, let's say if you have a dog, you would be considered irresponsible by the standards we have today if you literally if you just open the door and let that dog run free. Right? Whether
Shock, you real irresponsible.
Real irresponsible. But you have measures in place. Let's say you have measures in place to make sure that your dog necessarily goes out of certain boundaries. I know you're training your dog with a shock collar.
Oh, absolutely.
Look, about that.
About that. Hey, man.
Apparently, I'm attacking Shocker right now. I don't even know. But I said, for that dog, you have a fenced-in area, or even a quote when you walk it out in the public, you have a leash.
Got a leash.
Is that leash considered inhumane for that dog? No. Why have that leash?
Absolutely. So we can keep ourselves protected and other dogs protected.
Okay.
Little babies walking up and down my neighborhood. That's literally
what the Word of God does. He says, I'm not here to control your life. He said, I love you guys and humanity so much. I'm here to try to protect you guys, because what you're going to do is, when, again, I'm talking about me.
Yeah, you're
gonna again stepping into premarital sex or other areas. You're gonna be like, God, they broke my heart. I can't believe they would do that. He said, bro, I told you. But he doesn't say it like that. He says, come into me. Yeah, I got your back. Yeah. I got your back. I'm here. I knew you weren't gonna fall within these guidelines or these rules. He said, but that's fine. He said, I can still help you, but that's the reason I have them in place. In my house, anytime I make a quote a rule or a house or whatever, a decree in this kingdom. I don't just tell him because I said so. I explain to my son what the reason this rule is to protect you, right? Not to control you. You still have these freedoms, and when they explain like that, he understands and he knows where he can, I guess, rule in this kingdom.
You know your
and
boundaries.
limitations.
Well, let me tell you why some kids don't even listen to the rules like that, because you ain't listening to your own rules. You set guidelines in your house, and you doing the complete opposite.
Yeah.
But you expect your kids to follow it.
Please don't fall into that trap of do what I say, not what as I do. I ain't gonna lie. Even as a kid, I used to hate with all conviction in my heart. And my mom or somebody used to say that, do what I say, not as I do. I'm like, but you're my only example though. Like I remember, and I won't say the word. I remember my mom used to, every time she see one of her friends, she used to call her a derogatory name.
Yeah.
And you might know what I'm referring to, right? As to her friend, they'd be like, "Hey, girl," whatever. And I remember when I was young, I might have been like 2nd or 3rd grade.
Yeah.
I thought that was my aunt's name.
That's perfectly. Wow.
I truly believe that was her name.
Wow.
I believe that. I was like, whatever. I said, "Hey, aunt," expletive. When I say I got hit in the mouth so quick, my mom was like, "What'd you say?" I was like, "I said aunt expletive." And my mom was so like,
it?
listen, I doubled down on it. I thought in my whole heart,
man
I
out
did not
here, really.
know that was a wrong thing to say.
Oh man.
Because I heard my mom say it so much, and she's like, "Boy, what again? Do what I say, not what I do." And I'm like, "But how? But you're my example. I heard you say it.
Yeah.
Same thing as a kid. If you're in your house cussing and doing whatever around your kids, and then they do the exact same thing, how are you shocked?
Do not get mad.
Don't get mad at them.
Bro, literally had a kid cuss me out. This is why I worked at the Boys and Girls Club. Literally had a kid cuss me out. I wrote the kid up to be suspended. Parent came, got the kid, and then when I talked to the parent, that's what the parent said, word for word. Didn't I tell you not to cuss outside the house?
Lord.
What?
Oh my
What?
gosh.
Like you serious right now? That's what
is
you
what-
worried about,
this
though.
is
The
what
fact
we
that
working
The fact
with.
that they cuss outside, not the fact
Yeah.
that they cussing in general.
Wow.
The fact that they out here cussing outside the house.
Listen, we praying for those people. We praying for all kinds of these situations.
100%.
And I
That's
said,
crazy.
you was wrong. You was wrong with your household. Your kid is a good kid. But
That's
look,
crazy.
but you the one that's poisoning his mind. And that's what, truthfully, I cannot stand parents that sit there and do that. They sit there and allow their kids. If you allow your kid to do it in the house, they're going to do it outside.
It's allowed.
It starts in the house.
Again, you said it, quote, it is allowed.
You allow it
like,
in the house.
one thing I would say, and I think now, and it kind of goes into, one thing is hard for me to quit on something, right? Like literally to quit. Like say, I give up, I'm not doing this anymore. I don't know, like truthfully, me and McCarty talk about this. I can't just give up and not do something. It drives me insane. Even when I'm working, I know I have to be working 2 hours, but I'm working on podcasts or doing other stuff.
Yeah.
I know I need to go sleep. No, I can't quit.
I can't do
Listen,
it.
I'll be up all night. I had to pray, Lord, look, release me. If not, I'll sit here all night.
Let
Maybe
me go
call
to
hard-headed
sleep.
Bro, and
stubbornness,
that was me.
but I believe that came from my mother because when I started something, matter of fact, when I played baseball when I was a kid, I ain't gonna lie. I was good at it, but I hated being out there in the hot sun. I wanted to quit so bad. She said, She said, you ain't quitting? She said, you signed up mainly. I think she paid for it too. But she says, you ain't quitting?
Wow.
I was like, what? For why? I said, Mom, you don't want to be out here. I don't want to be out here. She says, no. If you quit on this, you'll quit on everything else in your life. And it's not, and if you made the mistake of, stepping out to something too early, it's not too late. You can always step in and step up. But again, that repeats a pattern. And I will end on this because we're running out of time.
So I got to use the bathroom.
Right.
Water
If
hit.
you quit on, let's say, you quit on your 3rd grade JV basketball team, but also and that starts a pattern. If you quit right then, you'll quit on your marriage. You'll quit on your kids. Not saying that you will do that. It makes it easier to do those said
You
things.
see it as an option.
And
Right.
as I say with that, I know we got to end here soon. Coming from somebody who did quit, like I said, I remember back in high school, I said it was just football. You might think, I'm done with it, I don't want to do it. Coming from somebody who did quit, yes, everything my man is saying is true. It's not the fact that you leave it open for an option, like Shaka said.
Right.
So therefore, now you realize, oh man, it's getting too hard. I can get out of here.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can dip out. But at the same time, you then have to retrain your mind to keep going. You have to retrain your mind that quitting is not an option, no matter how hard it is to not quit. I mean, to quit. you have to retrain your mind. So that's one of the things. Like I want to tell you people, even if you did quit, it's okay. I understand everybody falls short sometimes,
Right.
but don't stay on the ground though. Get up, dust your feet off, look, and keep it pushing again.
That's right.
Want to add to that, Shaka, or are we wrapping up?
Roll it up like a cinnamon roll, guys.
All right. Hey,
my bladder
for
is
y'all pops and
bladdering
socks
right now.
listeners out there, all y'all in podcast land, listen to the pops and socks. Hey. Take a picture of your feet. No, I'm just. whoa. I'm joking. Nah,
Right
nah,
now.
truly, man. Like I said,
not
if
do
you
that.
really enjoying this podcast, and you got your favorite socks on with us,
Yes.
show us your socks. Put it on the podcast page. Let us see what you rocking with.
Robert Worley, we see you out there with the socks,
Hey.
man.
Shout out, yo, Robert.
We
Give 'em,
appreciate it.
What is it? The Cocoa Puffs and
Actually,
the
got
what
the-
is it?
the
The
lemon
lemon
heads.
heads. Oh, them
Lemon
fire
heads.
though.
Fire.
Lemon heads are trash, but the socks look great.
The socks are great. The candy itself is trash.
Hey, I
Candy
like the
itself
lemon
is
heads
trash.
though.
I ain't gonna lie.
Lemon heads are disgusting.
Let's not.
That's not for another
like I
day.
said, let's not.
But-
Let's not
but
put
Next
that-
week, we talking about is divorce an option. We're going to go ahead and throw that question in there.
That's a good one.
Oh,
But again,
I was about to take off on that question just now.
Do
I'm
not
I'm going
think
to
about
let's move
it.
forward.
Marinate on that like chicken.
But yeah, follow. I said tag us to the. We have a I said tag us to the podcast Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Put your comments under the YouTube. Like, share, subscribe.
That's a word.
That's a bar right there. That was the bar. I got tongue tied. What else we need to add? Yeah, again, constantly listen. If you have questions or you felt that we got it right, or you feel like, hey, I want to chime in on something, please let us
Put it
know.
in the comments.
Put it in the comments. We want to interact with you guys to figure out what you're thinking, maybe walking through right now. Any way that we maybe can pray for you guys, please. Again, we are not. Well, technically,
We're not relationship experts.
We're not relationship experts.
No.
We don't have to. We don't know it all. But if we can lift you up, even if you believe or don't believe, just needed a prayer. We got your back. We want to
got
lift you up and help you out.
Three different fathers with
Three
three
different
different perspectives,
viewpoints.
with three different families.
And
That's it.
and if you ask a question we don't know, I'm not opposed to saying I ain't gonna lie to you.
I
I don't
have
know.
I'm be
no
real.
idea.
I ain't gonna mess up your life. Just think I'm right.
I'll give you my
But that's just
perspective.
me. Look, but I don't know.
That's it. Our
Put the hand down.
our perspectives are not always right.
Right, and we're not opposed to even like acknowledging that to be like, maybe it'll give me something to think about or chew on.
Yeah.
But again, we love you. We appreciate you tuning in. Peace.
Yo, by the way, Anthony don't think Black
Hey, man.
Panther 2 is going to be great.
Nope, I don't. But peace.
Wow.